Are we live? Pressing timer button.
No,
Okay.
we are pre-recorded. This is COVID Chronicles number 130.
How many days left to the election?
Is it?
35 or something?
Well, let me see. 31 days in October, plus 3 would be 34, plus 2 left in. So that sounds like 36.
Less than 40. Yay! Mm-hmm. I'm going to watch every minute of the debate tonight. And I'm particularly interested in the times of COVID. Is Trump going to be allowed to wander behind Biden? And I think they're both the same height. So he's not going to be able to loom over her like he did over Hillary.
I don't understand why that was ever considered acceptable. That just struck me as odd. I didn't watch it, but I remember seeing clips of it afterwards. It's like whoever was the moderator or whatever should have said, all right, candidates, stay by your podiums.
I read her book, What Happened or something, and she said she really wanted to react by, elbowing him.
Spinning around quickly with an elbow out and taking him out.
But she didn't think that would look very good. But I wish she had.
Well, she could have just swung her arms by her side and maybe hit him in the balls. Oops! I didn't know you were there! Or turned around with her knee. Oh! I didn't expect you to be there. Your podium's way over there.
I think I had a muscle cramp.
What are you doing standing behind me? I was not expecting that. Wonder if that would have got her votes. If she just
I think it would have.
Kneed him in the crotch, send him to the ground and said, "Stop harassing me, you buffoon.
Get out of my space, you idiot."
Stop bullying me with your man presence.
Your man presence. Oh.
I don't know. It's not, violence isn't the answer, but it's funny how
I think it might be the answer if you're being threatened, physically threatened. You're allowed to be violent then, right?
Well, but what I'm saying is in all forms, many forms of entertainment, people really love it when the bad guy gets a smack in the face, or kick in the balls, or shot and killed, right? That's the whole movie, the whole series, whatever might come down to the final scene where everybody by then is going, oh, the bad guy needs to get his his just punishment, his just desserts, right? And that may be, a bullet to the forehead, or it could be a kick to the forehead, or it could be a punch to the forehead. But anyway.
We all want John Wick.
You want to, yes, everybody likes the John Wick thing, right? Although I've met people occasionally who are like, it's not okay to abuse the abuser. And the very first time I heard it, I thought, what?
Oh my God.
What? And the concept behind that is, in this case, Trump is a damaged person. He can't help himself.
Oh, right.
He's been damaged by his life experiences, and therefore he doesn't have control over how he behaves. So that would mean that, to assault him would be abusing an abuser.
And that's a very evangelical description of Trump. He's just a baby Christian.
Doesn't know what he's doing.
Just learning. I heard something on the radio today say they caught him, or they were asking him, "What's your favorite? What you like best about the Bible, or what's your favorite verse, Bible verse?" Mm-hmm. Oh, I like it all. And then they said,
"Could you name one?"
What do you like better, the First Testament or the Second? Oh no, I like them both. I like to say it's my The Art of the Deal is my second favorite book.
Well, so there would be an example of something that I think kind of. So don't abuse the abuser. The thing is, in with respect to different kinds of abuse, so you don't want the person who isn't as quick-witted and isn't as intelligent or well-educated or whatever, who's being manipulated by the person who's got access to, quick-wittedness and intellectual superiority via learning and whatever. You don't want that person who's got all these mental faculties that they're using to twist, control, and manipulate people, you don't want that person to get hit. But if the only thing that the person who's being manipulated, controlled, and abused has that is functional for them is to just beat the living crap out of somebody, then that kind of puts everybody who's at the hands of an emotional or an intellectual abuser at a disadvantage. Because if you can't fight back intellectually...
How about you shouldn't abuse the abuser of the abuser?
Oh, I guess what I'm trying to say is that...
Tired of that shit.
All we see in nature through all different kinds of examples, all the way up to little kids and human, experiences, when a creature is being annoyed or threatened, there comes a point where the creature will attack physically, right? There's no debate.
No.
Little kids don't get into a big debate before they pop the other kid in the head for stealing their cookie or whatever, right? So as adults, we're like, physical violence isn't the answer. But in some ways, it seems that the lack of fear of physical violence leaves certain people to manipulate, to abuse, to mentally harass a great amount of latitude.
You can't say both of these things. Physical retaliation is not the answer, or fighting is not the answer.
Yeah.
And if you're a woman and you're being attacked, you fight with everything you've got. You do not get thrown in the trunk of a person's car. Like, you fight to the death to not be thrown into the trunk of a person's car.
Mm-hmm. Although the problem there is that if a woman hasn't grown up in an environment where she has any experience fighting, she's not probably going to do much if she hasn't got any training.
No, but you can't say those two things. Like, you can't say fighting is not okay, except...
Well, fighting is not okay except if you're defending yourself. What I think is missing, though, is the culture that we're living in is... Unless a given set of parents take their kids and take them to, self-defense training, martial arts, whatever... A lot of kids then end up at the mercy of those who have lived a rough and tumble life and have been beaten up by their parents or beaten up by their brothers or sisters or whatever. Anybody who's spent any time being physically assaulted as a kid growing up is going to have more capability to lay a beating on somebody if the other person hasn't had the same life experience, right?
Yeah.
So the whole anti-violence thing is kind of putting the people who are likely to be abused at a disadvantage, as I see it. And then on top of that, if they're being abused through trickery and guile and things that, you've seen situations, I think everybody's seen a situation where they know what really happened. And until you step up and say, no, I saw what happened here, the person who has the gift of the gab could maybe talk their way out of a situation and make it look the other person. Like, he hit me first, whatever, and then that kind of deal. So... It's never been fair. No. And it's not ever going to be fair, but you've disarmed some of the people who would combat being bullied or being taken advantage of or whatever you want. The aggressor, especially if they're an intellectual aggressor, like someone who's gaslighting you. If they set everything all up so you can't, if they've meticulously set things up, like the people who are narcissistic, if they set everything up to kind of make it so you can't fight back intellectually.
Can't defend yourself.
Kind of what are you left with, right? You're just going to be frustrated and annoyed. But if everybody knows what's been going on, anyway, just thoughts that are in my head at this time of crisis where the United States might be about to implode or have a civil war, and Canada's going to be sort of standing on the sidelines of the explosion trying to decide how do we cope with this mess? I don't know what would happen. Would Canada's borders be suddenly receiving an influx of people who are just like, okay, we're out of here? And then what are we going to do then? Because they're all going to be carrying COVID. Maybe.
Next time I want to talk about when a narcissist is cornered, or what do you call that? The emperor's clothes? Emperor's new clothes? Or
that he's naked and nobody's admitting it?
Yeah, but when you do see him naked, like...
I don't know. We're running out of time. So we'll talk to you tomorrow.
About that and Trump.